Good afternoon, comrade subscribers. Hope everyone's well. It's Friday afternoon, a little cooler, bit of rain today. So I didn't put the hot water boost on last night, did I? So not much hot water tonight because we got the solar hot water system on the roof. So you got to kind of see the future. So if it's going to be a sunny day, then you don't need to boost it overnight, do you? But if it's going to be a rainy day, anyway, whatever. So it's what, 24 degrees, 23, 24 degrees on the Wanson's electricity house thermometer. Something I haven't done for a while, so please bear with me. This is a US VIC-20. Don't know if it works. Doesn't come with anything. So I thought it might make an interesting... Just get this out of the way. I thought it might make an interesting video because you need to make a power cable, you need to make a video cable, you need to modernize it. I think it might have some broken keys, so we need to fix the keys. Bits and pieces like that. So I thought I might make some interesting videos. Cool. Keep going. There we go. Few missing keys. And that's why it was cheap. So like I said, this caught my eye as well. So I've never seen one like that. So I don't know if it's lost the label and they've kind of made, done a homemade one. I'm not sure. So like I said, it's as you can see here, 9-volt AC. My favourite type because, like I said, they're just so easy to power. Okay. Oh, okay, so we've got the keycaps by the looks of it. So it's just the key stems and springs we need to sort out. That's not a problem. Let's have a look. So there we go, serial number P896270. So pretty standard. You can see there's a bit of yellowing on the keys. Not too worried about that. So this is this is interesting here. I do have replacement labels, but I think I might just leave it like that. Yeah. So what we've got, 1, 2, 3. So we've got okay. So we've got the keycaps. So it looks like just the key stems and the springs, which I should have replacements for. That's not a problem. Let's have a quick open up. So just 3 screws along the bottom. Wow, it's all got the original screws as well. So yeah, the VIC-20 was probably one of the first series of videos I did, so they're all probably pretty rubbish. So hopefully I'm a little bit better. So I was a bit obsessed with VIC-20s for a while because, like I've said before, for me it's always the keyboard. If it's got a nice keyboard, then I like it. So I quite like the VIC's keyboards. Okay, got the 3 screws out. There we go. So these little clips usually break, so yeah, one of those just broke off. So there's a few things we can do. We can obviously replace the linear regulator, LM323 I think it is. That wastes a lot of heat. We've got the rectifier here. Sorry, we've got the rectifier under here because obviously we've got AC coming in here. So if you're just putting DC in, you could basically bypass, well, there's a few things you could do. You could put 9 volts DC in which case you can bypass the rectifier and go straight to the regulator, or you could put in 5 volts DC straight, in which case you bypass both the rectifier and the regulator, and you save a lot of heat that way, a lot of power that way. I have actually done some videos on reducing power consumption on the VIC-20, so I don't know if that's interesting to anyone. These are easy, so put in CMOS versions of the 6522s, and they go from being really hot to being room temperature. So this wire here, so let me pull out a bit. So this takes the 9 volts AC, I guess, from the input across to the expansion connector there. So I can pull that out. I'm just kind of tidying up a little bit. So what I'll do is pull the keyboard apart as well, give the keyboard a bit of a wash, replace the 4700 microfarad capacitor there, so that's obviously smoothing for the rectifier. Give the motherboard a wash. Other places you can save is replacing the ROMs. So if you replace the ROM, so that's the character ROM there. I think it's a 2K character ROM or something. So that's the character ROM there. And then we have firmware and basic, or basic and firmware. I can't remember which one is which. And obviously we've got the 6502 CPU there. So you can replace that for a CMOS as well, save a bit of heat. And under here is the 6560, I think, because this is a US NTSC model. We'll have the 6560 there, or a 6561 in a PAL. So this is just a quick look. I need to go pick my kids up from school now. So, to be continued. Okay, so before we do make any modifications, let's just see if it works as is. So this is a US model, one of the original US models. So it's got the 2-pin 9-volt AC input, which is my preferred one because it's nice and simple. I don't like the DIN input ones, because then you've got to get 5 volts and 9 volts power supply, which you can get, but this you can just, plug pack or bench supply. Anyway, so that's the socket that's used on the original American VIC-20, the Japanese VIC-1001, and apparently, and I don't understand why, the Australian VIC-20. Doesn't make sense to me, because we use 240 volts here in Australia, so that would mean having 3 different power supplies, rather than having a US 110 100 volt with that plug and a Euro 220 volt. They would have to make a third 220 or 240 volt with a US plug. But whatever, anyway, doesn't matter. So that plug is actually this one here. So I've taken this off a US power supply and repurposed it. So I've just got a 2.1mm socket there, so I can just plug a plug pack in. I'm not a fan of these. I don't like them, because from my experience, let me just position it in, it's too loose. I don't understand it. It's just very, very, very loose. So I don't use that at all. Another option is installing a 2.1mm socket on the metal L plate here. So that's one way you can do it. Or you can just get yourself a C7 plug. So this is an IEC C7 plug. So I've got a few options here. You can do your right angled ones like that. So what's figure 8 plug, but it's a C7. So you've got your right angled one, or you've got your straight through one there, and they fit really well. So what I've got on this one here is right angle with a 2.1mm socket, Let me just zoom out a bit. And you just plug her in like so. It's a little bit harder to plug in, but once it's in, nice and solid, no wobbling around. So you can have it like that if you get a right angled C7 plug. And then in this case, you just plug it into a 2.1, so 9 volt DC or AC. Another way I've made it is obviously straight through. Or I've also made ones with the DIN, so you can actually use the later Commodore power supplies. So the VIC-20 needs more power apparently than the C64. So you can't use a C64 power supply on a VIC, but you can use a VIC one on a C64. I think that's the way it goes. Anyway, I don't really deal with these, too much hassle. So like I said, I just prefer nice, simple, one input, 9 volts. So that's that there. Next thing is the video output. So it's a 5-pin DIN, yay! So, which is what we're used to, aren't we? So as is, it's in this case it'll be composite video out and mono audio out. The VIC chip can do S-video, which is separated chroma and luma, but that so you can get basically S-video out on this, but you need to make some modifications. So we're not worried about that at the moment. We're just worried about seeing if we can get a signal out. So let me grab a video cable. So here's a video cable I made up a while ago. I've got yellow on there just to remind me that it's just composite. I've got stereo audio, but that's just connecting both signals to the mono audio here. So yep, composite. Plug straight into there with my fancy plug. I've got that there. All right, let's hook everything up. Actually, I might do video capture. So let me get I'll get my laptop, I think. Get my laptop and I'll do video capture rather than filming the screen. How professional is that? Okay, so we're all set up. Let's try and turn it on. Oh, bloody hell. Switch is hard. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so power LED isn't on. We've got a black screen and we're drawing 1.17 amps. So it does seem, because I don't have the power LED connected. Silly me. Let me just do that. There you go, power LED's on now. Okay, so we've got a black screen, so it's not working. So we can try a few things. Okay, now there's, oh, geez. Feels like the switch is actually broken. Yeah, it's very, that's interesting. It's very, very loose now. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to be replacing that. So I do have a replacement switch for it. Do I have any spare at the moment? I thought I did. Well, having said that, I think this uses a different switch. I'm not sure to the Euro one, but yeah, that switch is definitely no good. All right, let's stop recording there. So I don't even think I'll show that really, because it's just a blank screen. Yeah. All right. So what can we do? What I'll do is I'll let it run for a bit. Let it run for a bit. Power LED's on. Let it run for a bit. See what heats up. Have a closer look. I'm not feeling any heat really. No, it's not. Okay, maybe on the VIC I can. because it's actually doing something, which is outputting nothing. These two usually get, okay, it's starting to get a bit hot now as well. Guess those two are okay. So like I said, we've got the rectifier under there, so I might actually remove, I have to take the board out because I want to get rid of all this dust as well. So we've got the rectifier under there, we've got the LM323 5-volt regulator there, and so we've got basic in the firmware. I can't remember which is which. I think, yeah, okay, 06, that's the firmware, that's basic, that's the 6502, which is not really getting warm. That's the character ROM, that's the VIC 6560 in this case because it's NTSC, and that's the two 6522 interface adapters. Got the RAM along the bottom there, and pretty sure we've got some 245 buffers or something around somewhere. So it's all pretty simple, but looking at this switch here, it's a bit too, shouldn't be like that. You can actually pull them apart, so what I might do is, and that's the C7, nice and solid, so what I might do is pull it apart because I want to clean the board, I want to dismantle the keyboard, and maybe we can have a look at fixing the switch. Okay, I've removed all the screws, so I'll get that out, go wash this. So looks like there is a bit of yellowing. There is a bit of yellowing on this side. It's not too much. The rest of it's okay. So I don't think I'll, do the retro bright. I'll just give it a good scrub and clean that up. So that'll be off to the clean. Let's remove the chips. So remove the firmware very gently. Obviously never been removed. So this is the one that you want to replace if you want to install. What was that? Oh God, I can't remember it now. What was the quick disc thing? Oh, it's been so long since I've been fiddling with VICs. Or whatever it is, I'll put it in the subtitle. So let's get rid of the chips that we can. I like to also remove the RF cage around the VIC because the VIC does get really hot, and it's pretty much, well, maybe there's a replacement now, I don't know, but otherwise it's pretty, irreplaceable. So like I like to put heat sinks on them as well, and people say, oh well, if they were meant to have heat sinks, then the original designers would have put heat sinks on them. It's like, well, no, not if you're mass producing a computer. You're not going to put heat sinks on them. You don't care. 40, 50 years later, I would prefer to do as much as I can to kind of dissipate the heat from a chip. So yeah, so these 6522s I've got, well, hopefully I've still got some, otherwise I have to buy some more from Mouser, but you can buy new 65C22s and they drop straight in and make a massive difference. They do not get hot at all. So almost done. So to get the VIC out, I'm going to have to remove the cage, I think. It's too difficult to get to. So yeah, so one of the troubleshooting things I can do, obviously, is because I've got so many spares, is just replace replace the VIC, replace the 6502, replace the ROM. They are nice, quick, easy things to check. Let's get rid of... Don't tell the FCC I'm doing this. If it starts interfering with my AM radio or my free to analog TV, then that's on my shoulders. So let's just get this out of the way. There we go. Let's just remove the heatsink for the it's just use a bigger screwdriver for the thingamajig rectifier. So that's the rectifier there. You can see the regulator. So that's just the rectifier there. I have tried modern versions, haven't really made any difference. It's still essentially just 4 diodes. So you're going to have thermal loss there. And that's obviously the regulator there. So you can replace that. Like I say, I normally use the ones, I think it's PSU5 from EZ SPC or EZ SPC. I want to get rid of that switch as well, don't I? Let's go out a bit. So let's remove that. Actually, that's on that side. Don't lose that. That's the screw for the... Still want to keep the heatsink for the rectifier. Just use some alcohol to clean off the old thermal paste. Put some new thermal paste on. We'll desolder that, remove that. I don't know if I've got any actually. I might have to order some more. Maybe I've got 1 or 2. And so I only use them on Commodore stuff. So, okay, let's get this off. That's going to come off. It does on the Euro models. It might not. Oh no, I think it's going to. It's just a matter of wiggling. I think. There we go. What else came off? Oh, maybe I just didn't unscrew it properly. There we go. So I say you can put a 2.1mm socket, DC socket there if you want to power it that way. So let's, yeah, see that? Have a zoom in, shall we? Yeah, very, very dodgy. It's a switch, so it's simple. So we can open that up and fix it up. And yeah, I want to desolder the this RF shield as well, so I can get the 6560 out safely. But let's have a look at the screw first, at the switch first, maybe. Okay, I've got the switch off. So yeah, generally I like to replace these with a modern equivalent. It's almost the right size. You just need to do a bit of filing. Just need to do a bit of filing on this here to fit it in, but it's a really nice action. So you can actually get them from JCar, so I might get one tomorrow, but we'll pull this one apart, see if we can recover it. I do have some spares from other VICs that I've refurbished. We'll have a look. And I found I've got one PSU5 no noise, low noise, no noise, LM323 replacement. So I'll be able to do that as well. But that's after I clean the board. So So let's just fix this up first. I'm going to have to clean up my solder desucker so I can get the 6560 out. And yeah, but there, let's pull this apart. It's pretty simple. We've just got some tabs here. Am I going to stab myself? So probably use maybe a flathead screwdriver. Might be a better implement. Just lift those tabs up. Lift them up with this. Really just need one side, I think, might be enough if you lift it up to slide the other side off, maybe. Almost there. Like so. So yeah, you obviously want to get all the dust, and so there's the switch there. So you've got a little plastic bit here that can come out, I think. No, that's going to stay in there. And then you've got a bit of metal down here. So you want to remember how it went in. So you've got a little dot there. Just get it out. And that's all there is to it, really. So like I said, you want to remember which side you had it. So this side has got the contact on it. So that was the side where you've got the contact there. So nothing really looks, I don't know, it looks okay. So I'll give it a blast with some, whoa, this is always going to cause arguments. I've got silicone, or I've got PTFE, I think it is. Is it PTFE? Dry PTFE. So high performance, prevents parts from sticking, waterproofs and protects against moisture for use on metal, plastic and rubber. Enhanced lubrication protection, dry film that resists dirt, dust and oil, which I think we kind of want that here, don't we? So what we'll do is probably give it a bit of a clean. I reckon spray that out there. Nicely there. Got a nice clean there. Now remember, the contactor goes on that side there like that. And this went in, goes in like that, and the on-off switch is like that, isn't it? So that goes in there. Actually, I wonder if it is actually missing a part. I thought there was supposed to be a spring in here. Although maybe that's working. Maybe that's working okay now. How was it? So that's supposed to be on. Let's just double check. How is that? How can that possibly be on? It would be on if it was in that, like that, wouldn't it? Interesting. Oh, that's on. That's on. That's off. Whatever. No, I'm pretty sure the switch went like that. Well, let's put the case back on. So I've got to remember. So this is the two little mechanical supports there. So that goes over the top like that. All right, let me get this back together. Almost got it back together. I think that's the trick like that. It's working better than it was. It's not loose anymore. So, but like I said, I like to replace these anyway, so I probably will. I'll go to JCar tomorrow. But yeah, that's kind of fixed. So I'll add that to my collection. I might resell these at some stage, but I've got a couple here. But like I said, I prefer just to replace them with brand new ones. They've got a much better action. Yeah, they're all working the same now. All right, but yeah, so let's not worry about that. So I'll put that aside. New switch tomorrow. So that's that done. So what I'm going to do for the rest basically is get rid of the RF shield here so I can get the 6560 out safely, and also remove the LM323, give the board a good clean, and do the same here. So it's basically just a matter of pulling apart, removing the keyboard, and then using a smaller screwdriver to remove the circuit board here. You have to desolder the shift lock here, and then you can basically pull out all the keys, give all the keys a good wash. I'll be able to put in new key switches, and also give this board here a scrub as well. And then we can start doing some troubleshooting, I think. Well, hopefully that was, and yeah, replace this ceramic. So you can see here all the other decoupling capacitors are these type, but there's one ceramic disc capacitor here which I hate, so I'll replace that one. There we go. That's it for a start. Hopefully that was useful. Let's see.